1 minute 20.4.
What?
No, but the thing I would say is I reckon you or I could get the Audi round in roughly that time, OK? But there's no way we could make the Corvette go round in that. Literally, I would be 5 minutes dead.
5 minutes and dead.
5 minutes and dead is what it would be. Anyway, it is now time to put a star in our reasonably priced car. Now, my guest tonight is an actor. He has played Kenneth Williams, who's no longer with us. He's played Brian Clough, who's no longer with us. And he's played Tony Blair, who is still with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Sheen! How are you? Have a seat. Lovely. I thought you were going to look like Tony Blair.
It's my day off today.
It's because it's weird. You know, when I watched The Queen, obviously when you were Tony Blair, I remember thinking, God, they did very well to find an actor who looks so like him. But you're much better looking.
It's not hard, is it?
Do people think that you're going to look like him?
In America, people think that I'm a Tony Blair lookalike, yeah.
But you're not.
I don't do work as a Tony Blair lookalike, although I do have lookalikes in my family. My dad is a Jack Nicholson lookalike.
Is he?
He is indeed.
No, because I was looking back at your family history, and it was all very weird, because nobody's done anything conventional since the dawn of human history, as far as I know.
True. Yeah.
Because your great-grandmother was a...
She was the first elephant and lion tamer in Barnum and Bailey's circus.
Right.
Her name was Nanny Blower, and God bless her, she was talented, but she wasn't a looker. She had her left breast mauled off by a lion, and the claw of that lion is on a chain somewhere in our family.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's at this point you go, and we have that lion for you now.
I wish I'd known. We'd have looked into it. And then, of course, there was he was your, not grandfather, great-grandfather. Who was the one that got drunk a lot?
Oh, yeah, my great-grandfather was a bit of a waster in the town, in Port Talbot, and the story goes that he was lying in the gutter one night, having been chucked out of the pub, and the moon appeared through the clouds, and God spoke to him through the moon and said, "You must mend your ways, save up money and buy the disused tin mine in the mountain." And so from that moment on, he never touched another drink, and he saved up his money. Everyone thought he was mad because there was no tin left in the mine. They discovered a new vein of tin. He became the richest man in Port Talbot and became a street preacher from then on.
This is fantastic. And then, so your dad was then a Jack Nicholson impersonator?
Dad was a Jack Nicholson lookalike. Not impersonator, lookalike. There is a difference.
And now you're
He's a
Tony
genetic
Blair.
freak, not a talented actor.
And now you're Tony Blair and David Frost.
And Kenneth Williams and Brian Clough.
This is, honest, can I just, first of all, can I congratulate you? I'll just take a moment to congratulate you on Frost Nixon. I just thought that was amazing. Rocky is what it was.
It was Rocky for interviewers.
It was Rocky. It was, instead of the fighting, it was interviewing Nixon. Brilliant film, I adored that. And now the new film, Twilight, which is it's New Moon, isn't it, for the Twilight series, which you did this presumably because you've got a 10-year-old daughter.
Yes, I have a 10-year-old daughter who is obsessed with the books.
As have I.
Right.
Completely besotted. And I always say to her, what are they about? And she says, well, there's a werewolf and a vampire. And then there's this girl and she's in love with a werewolf, but she was... And he said, what are you reading?
It's sort of this great love story, it seems. And also, they sort of tap into something about particularly a teenage girl's experience growing up.
So you're
I am a vampire.
So was it Peter Mandelson this time that you modelled it on?
Yes, absolutely. Completely modelled it on Peter Mandelson.
Now, cars. Yeah. I've obviously looked back through your history and it is quite poor. The cars
I have a very glamorous history with cars.
Not really.
No?
Now, your driving test.
I learned to drive in a Datsun Sunny, and that may have been the reason why my heart wasn't in it, maybe. And then I bought a red Ford Orion.
Do you have any... was that BJ registered around then?
It would have been, yeah.
They were honestly the worst...
I think it was the worst car ever made.
It's a Datsun Sunny and
Ford Orion.
Ford Orion. So you're not really blowing the cash on Bentleys.
No, I'm not one who spends a lot of money on cars up to this point.
No, you said, because I'm fascinated, because you spend a lot of the time living now in Los Angeles, so
yes.
I would have assumed you'd have had some form of hybrid.
Not really. I'm not...
Thought about it?
Well, there's a lot of pressure to get that it's the way forward.
Well, there is.
I'm not going to get a hybrid.
Good man.
I'm going to get an old Jag. I want to pretend that I'm in the film of performance, driving around LA.
Oh, Mick Jagger.
Exactly.
It's a very good idea. What sort of old Jag?
I'd like to get a green one. Is that what you mean?
Good, a green one's good. That would be fantastic. So when you go on American chat shows and they say, you got a hybrid, you can say, no, I have a jet.
I have a jet. Okay.
So what do you use in England?
I nip around London on a scooter.
I once rode one of those across Vietnam. It tried to kill me.
But they're fantastic. In fact, when I first got the scooter, it was just before I started playing Kenneth Williams in this film I did, Fantabulosa. And I was desperately trying to lose as much weight as I possibly could to play him. So I went on the cabbage soup diet for the last 10 days, which is great. I lost 10 pounds, but I did used to lose consciousness as well. I was so faint. And so I was driving around on this scooter around London, which was scary enough as it was. But I was also constantly farting. My stomach was making terrible noises, and whilst I used to drive around, I used to practice the voice. So if anyone saw an Aprilia going past them round the Clapham area with a slightly sepia-looking visor and a smell coming behind it and a voice going as he's going along, that was me.
Did you ever fall off it?
No, I never fell off it. I kept the stabilizers on, obviously.
Anyway, obviously, you came here, I have to say, from Los Angeles this morning.
I came from the airport straight here and into the car.
So you're, well, where are we, 10 hours out? Yeah.
I have no idea what time I'd...
Well, I tell you what time, it's 6:30 in the morning, so it's time you were up.
Okay. I think there should be a new category, which is, instead of just W for wet, there should be JL for jet lag.
Jet lag, and I believe, was it damp out there as well?
It was dampish.
So that's jet lagged and damp.
And there were people shooting bows and arrows at me
Shooting bows and arrows. There are many, many things we have to write down on here. Jet lag, damp, bows and arrows.
And I'm Welsh.
And you're Welsh.
In fact, who are the other Welsh people on there? Have I got a chance of being top
I don't know.
Welsh?
Alan Davis, is he actually Welsh or does he just have a name that's Welsh? No. Take anyone
Rob
else?
Brydon.
Rob Brydon. Where's he?
Tom Jones. It would be good to beat Dame Helen Mirren, wouldn't it?
She's
look,
here.
Tom Jones did. Tom Jones is on top of Helen Mirren. Not for the first time. Rob Brydon. There's Rob Brydon, just below Keith Allen.
This is kind of Little Wales here, as we
That's
call
Little
it.
Wales,
This area. So this is where you're aiming for.
I want to be the fastest boy in the village.
That's Little Britain. I've just got that. I'm there.
See, even jet lag. I'm on form, Jim.
On it. Who'd like to see the lap? Come on, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, dear Lord.
So you'd think this was a pretty good car, though, with your car.
That's the best car I've ever sat in. Nice smooth gear change.
It is. It's really ruined that. So here we go. Coming up to the first corner. Oh, I say that's a vigorous turn in there. Right. So we're not going for the smooth approach.
No.
Brake, you brake.
No, and I like the hands on the wheel there. That's wide. That's a lot. This really is.
Don't go into fourth. Go into second, Michael. Try that.
Well, one will do. No, you're supposed to look slow so that you're actually going. That's not looking slow. That's looking wide again. The stick did say, well, he communicated.
Textbook. Absolute textbook.
That's not what the stick said. He said clunky. Clunky but brave is how he described you. Yes, I can.
Clunky but brave.
It's not healthy. That's not healthy, Michael.
Getting very well. So that was pretty quick.
Oh, yes.
Now here you go. Look. Holy cow, that's quick. That's very quick. Now, what about Gambon? Hell, look at that. And across the line, that was amazing. I have here.
If it's under Roger Bannister's mile, I'll be happy. Under 4 minutes.
So you want to be somewhere
I'll probably
down.
be
You
down
want to
the
be at the
bottom then.
top of the Welsh zone.
Well,
here.
it would be nice if I was, above Helen, and I would love it if I was above Rob.
So they're all around the Rob's 151, so, but that was wet. Michael Sheen, you did it in 1 minute.
Yes.
46.3. Good
Lord.
You are by far and away. Wow. Seriously?
How did that happen?
That was a brave lap. Gordon Ramsay just committed suicide.
I'm sort of mystified.
That lap was very fun. You can see it, because you were doing effectively a million down the straight.
I heard that Tom Jones didn't want to come in, and it must be something Welsh, because I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
And I could have beaten Jake.
Could have, well, you help yourself. There's still
Yeah,
20
I'm going
minutes of
back out
daylight
now.
left. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Sheen!